Hi, everybody. I just wanted to come on today. It's been a little while since I've done a face-to-face video, apart from my meditations. But today is Tuesday, the 8th of March, 2022. And I just have been feeling for a while that Spirit's impulsing me to come through and just remind everybody of some basics, some basic energy understanding, to keep you centered again, to bring you back into your true self, your true nature, to reconnect you again to the highest truths that are on offer right now, because we can see that it is a crazy time for many. Some are seeing this absolutely through their fear-based eyes. Some of you are feeling fear rise in you. There may be confusion in you about where am I, what is happening, is this going to ever take place? Are we going to see the shifts? Are we going to get the disclosures? How long do we have to play this game? Any of that. So if you're feeling that, hopefully in the next half an hour or so, there might be some clarification for you. So first and foremost, I just want to remind everybody that no matter what and how you see yourself every day in the mirror, you are a soul first and foremost. That is it. That is the truth. The game, this earth that we're playing in, you have chosen to partake in. You have chosen to come this time to remember, to awaken and reactivate your true sense and remembrance of self, in that you are not mortal being, you are not stuck in a human limited condition, but you are infinite in all ways, ever expanding, ever evolving, and you came to remember this now. So it is not untimely that the world looks like it's ending to some people, or it's crashing and burning in ways. And in some people's worlds, it feels like that. They're undergoing huge, huge shifts and changes and huge breakdowns. But again, energetically, we must keep coming back to the truth. Everything is energy. There is nothing but energy. Your thoughts are your energy. Our consciousness is all that we truly are. And our consciousness creates everything. It creates everything you witness, you feel in yourself. It creates everything that you see beyond the self. It is just the thought. So it's like you're in a virtual reality game. Just think you've put on those headsets, whatever, I've never played it, but those headsets that they put on, they decide to put in a program, a game, whatever it's called that they utilize. You're doing the same at the highest level. You've decided to play a game, and so you project, as does the virtual reality, this incredible vision, this incredible moment of time where when those people are playing, everything appears so real. They're touching, they're moving, they're feeling like they're there. It is so obvious that they're there, and it's just tangible to them. This is the power of our mind. We are incredible at what we can create and make it real. But this is the same for your movie. This is what you are doing. And as a collective, the whole earth, every soul that is now on earth has chosen to be here now. Whether you choose to label and divide into good, bad, dark, evil, light, dark, whatever, doesn't matter at the end of the day. We've all come from the same source, believe it or not, it's true. And we are simply choosing the roles. We are choosing the players in our movie. We are choosing the experiences, the feelings, because we have said we will come, and we want all these imbalanced emotions, thought processes, patterns, lineage patterns, all these vibrations that we've ever experienced of less than love creations across the multidimensional aspect that we are, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. We're shifting now. They're all bleeding into us. All your lifetimes are present now. Everything is available now, which is why you might be getting more information. You might be open to more things. Things from the past could be coming back, thoughts that you thought, wow, what's going on? Where did this come from? They are literally bleeding in, because up until last year, they've not been able to. There were parameters of energy in place to prevent that happening, and we didn't have access to all the timelines. We do now. So you are open to you. You are open to every part of you, and that is in highest divine design. It's meant to be now, because we're preparing for that jump, that huge leap, as each of us has agreed to and contracted to and are programmed to in divine orchestrated time. We're not all doing it together at once. We're awakened on varying degrees and levels, and that's purposeful, because some need to be in charge of the knowledge, not in charge, I don't know that word, but some need to have the knowledge to assist others with. You have your knowledge to assist those around you with, and vice versa. It just continues. It's this great evolutionary game and situation. So just remembering that, knowing that everything is okay. You know, there is nothing less than, there is nothing wrong. And I think from that energetic perspective, again, it's really important to remember that as energy shifts, as energy begins to change its matrix, its design, its pattern, its program, energy becomes chaotic. And now I've said this before, it becomes very dismantled. So nothing's smooth, it's very chaotic. The energies are buzzing everywhere, awaiting the next consciousness design call, thought, mind, high mind design program to come into, create it into the next matrix of vibration. So in that in-between part, when things are happening in our body or things are happening in our world that we feel like, oh my God, what's going on? What's happening? What have I done wrong? See, we always default to our old dualistic negative mind. Like, have I done something? I thought I was higher than this. Oh, I thought I knew better. What am I? Oh gosh, what's wrong? You know, no, stop all that. Okay, this is what ego wants. It wants you to be confused. It wants you to be chaotic. It wants you to mistrust yourself. It wants doubt present, because the heart holds none of that. The heart simply knows you're okay. And even while all that chaos, confusion, and doubt might be in place, the heart's still saying you're okay. But we have to find our way back to hearing that truth within our heart. Because again, as I said, in that destruction, it's in preparation for a higher rebirth of vibrational patterns, which will then create new frequencies and visions and projections and experiences that you will perceive or witness in your world. So things aren't breaking down. Okay, they are in a sense, but not for collapse and not for negativity. They're breaking down for the greater potential. And again, the light that is just, you know, ever increasing. I mean, I don't even have a word to describe the light that's coming in now. You know, we've had direct access to the galactic source itself. The plasma waves are non-stop, ever increasing. So the light, as we know, comes into our cells. Whatever's happening out there is happening within here. We're not distinct. We are not separate. We are one. And we're one with everything and everybody, including the earth. That whatever is taking place, we all feel it. We all experience that. And we will do that according to our contracts again, our plan. But that light that is incredible in its frequency, so high, that is coming into our cells, which are already under reconstruction. DNA is under reconstruction. Your organs, supposed organs, are under reconstruction. Your cells are well under reconstruction. Your chakra system's well under reconstruction. We're expanding to the 12 and some beyond, but let's face and stay with the 12. So the light has to come into your being. As we know, it must find a space within your cells. So to be able to incorporate it, you cannot be holding the old and birthing the new. You simply can't. It doesn't work that way. So this is the shifting and the changes that you feel within, so without. So the greater earth is showing us the fear, it's showing us the division, it's showing us the anger, it's showing us all the emotions that we hold still within us, and how we react to that, how much fear we're propagating, how much fear we're feeling, we're reacting to, how much doubt, mistrust, anger, division, hatred, pointing fingers, you know, at the moment at Putin or Zelensky or Biden or whoever, ScoMo, you know, Trudeau, Macron, whatever, doesn't matter. If you're pointing fingers and you're pointing at somebody, you're in separation. You are in division. And that division is a simple reflection of the division that's still held within you, within your masculine and feminine, within your heart and your ego. You are not engaged in the heart when you're pointing fingers or in fear, full stop. So we're in this incredible, incredible time. And these greatest shifts that we're witnessing outward are part of the shift. Now, as I've always said, we have to, again, come back to the basics of truth. And I don't do this from fear at all, but sometimes, you know, we have to step up and accept our responsibility of what truth is. And sometimes truth, we have to be challenging to people and to souls, because when we're in fear, we don't like truth. We don't want to hear the potential truth, and we don't like that, you know, we like our world to be nice and peaceful and calm. Well, you know, that's great, but nothing changes like that. You know, some of the greatest moments of evolutionary change have had to have great undermining and great energetic chaos, as I said, but in physical wars as such, and people standing up for the truth, people daring to stand in their power to say, no, I can see the bigger picture here. I can see what's happening, and I choose to take a stand. This is empowerment. This isn't conspiracy theories. This isn't tinfoil hats. This isn't people being obnoxious and rebellious. It isn't about labeling anybody. We must have those who are awakening. They must be awakening to lead the way. They have to be. And so I'm stepping it up now, probably with some information that I've withheld too, because again, you have to impart to the consciousness of the collective and the community as they are able to accept it. And for many of us that are awake, simply looking at COVID, and I know many of you have had discussions, you've had issues with families, friends, workplaces, where you may have had to step away, walk away. This is what I refer to, because it's very difficult at times to stand up, because you become like an isolated island, and you question yourself, and you liked it when it was peaceful and you were part of the greater picture, and you liked these beings. But when your soul kicks in, and this is what we're here for now, and we must remember this. This is not about you, the personality, or me, the personality, anymore. This is about your soul and my soul and its mission and purpose. And when it's time, and you can't stop the flow. It just has to go. It has to move. The energies have to flow, as you know. So we are being asked to step up now and to dare to be in that truth. And you know your truth. You know it regardless of who tackles you and confronts you and challenges you. You just know it deep within your being and every soul of your being that this is absolutely right for you. And you'll meet the souls who come in that vibrational agreement part and pattern with you to say, yes, we're here with you, brother, sister, because we are the ones in that time, in that moment, at that level, whatever is coming up and coming through. It's time for us to awaken to that and to step into our service roles. So in this present time, you know, COVID was a great teacher. But, you know, as we can see now, you know, you can't hide what's coming. You cannot prevent what's coming. And we have literally been in a spiritual war. It has been a war because there has been so much going on beyond these eyes. And for those who are seeing with this eye and who are working in those fields and having to work through the etheric levels and the collective consciousness, and I have had to, not all the time, but in my particular role, to confront the darker forces. And it's funny because even now, like I've called them the darker forces, and I've been working with the less than love aspects for a long, long time. And many years ago, it's been my training for now. And for many of us, what we've had to do to be able to recognize what's happening in the greater game in play. But, you know, even now, we keep needing to be shifting our vibration up and up and up to the truth. And the highest point of truth is everything is divine. And that's the first thing I want you to know. Even the spiritual war is divine. Because this planet has been taken over a long, long, long time ago by some very lacking love entities from other planetary systems, and have created a matrix, a world of delusion that was intended to diminish and reduce the love load, the love light quotient. It was intended for people to forget their truth. It was intended for people to forget their soul truth. It was intended for people to be divided, separated, and to maintain that, and to maintain them in that position that is one of being disempowered. Because when we're disempowered, we just accept. We are complicit. We go with the flow. We do what we're told to. And we have been trained for a very long time in lifetimes for now. Okay? But the divine picture of now is that it's game over. The virtual game that we've been playing, our Father, Mother, Christos Sophia, has said there will be a time, a moment of the breath, the in and the out breath, where this game will cease. And we are now in the cessation of that virtual reality and game. So this is where now those who played, and I think this is really important to keep this in mind, those souls who chose to play the less than love characters, okay, they chose this role also not only for their soul's aspects, and everyone has a choice of free will, and they chose maybe to take it a little bit too far. But again, our source, Mother, Father, allowed this because they know that we said we'd remember and we would come home. And we knew the earth would rise into her home. And so all has been allowed. But even the darkest aspects, even the lowest, deepest, less than love aspects were lower than what was ever anticipated. And so now the intervention has had to step in. You know, we all said, not all of us, those again on a collective consciousness level back in 1987, we were given the choice through the Great Karmic Council, whether we choose to go the cataclysmic path again, such as Atlantis or Lemuria, or whether we choose to awaken and rise, which was the designed, perfected design path. So in that greater council meetings back in 87, which was called the Harmonic Convergence, those souls, and there was enough souls to create the shift, agreed to rise with grace. And so here we are. We haven't had and will not have a cataclysmic outcome because the Nostradamus and any of those old prophecies were all written and projected at a time where that potential was a potential. That potential is off the cards now. It ain't going to happen. Okay, so rest assured and breathe easy now. So what we now see is that those beings who are less than love souls are just as powerful to a degree, very powerful, very knowing, have incredible magic capacities, have incredible etheric and multi-skilled capacities that the normal human doesn't. And so they could see what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing with great plans. And they've been able to jump timelines, use timelines. This is what I mean. They can do anything, just like the highest light beings can. But what they failed to reconcile or understand in their projections and their plan was that PowerPoint of love. Because when you're in less than love, and this is what I was shown many years ago by Nada, when I was working in the 9/11 aspects, and through my ego, I had to do a big learning journey on this one, was she showed me that the darkest lords, the darkest being that you could imagine, that you feared the most, that was overwhelming, that you would have just surrendered to and literally resigned your life to give it away because you felt you could not control and take over what was coming over you. In that moment, she left me just to discover and trust in my heart again and give love. And by sending that dark Lord love, I was able to raise the love quotient in that soul and watch the darkness diminish. And so in that moment, I recognized the power of love and the power that we hold when we trust and believe in love, what we can do. We can diminish the darkness. Absolutely. We don't need wars. These are just the illusions of the third world, third dimensions. They are not real. Sorry, I just had to pause that for a moment. There was a bit of noise in my house, but I'm back again. Hopefully it's stopped now. So yeah, the power of love. It's everything. It's everything we can do. And this is why it's so important, because again, this is what these lower entities wanted you to do, was to literally be controlled through your fear, to align into your deepest fears. Now, it's again astonishing how many people don't think they have fear, but you do. And until we challenge ourselves to what that is, and I often say to people, if you have struggles in identifying fears within you, simply start with doubt. Whatever you have doubt or confusion about, you're in the energy and vibration of fear in that moment. Again, of course, fear will be in varying degrees, but it can be a tiny subtle vibration, but it's influencing your outcome and your being and your cellular activity. So be very alert to you. This game is only about you. You are part of the greater whole, absolutely, but the game is about you. So as you balance you, you balance the outside of you. So as we all balance ourselves, we all come into love, we see more love outside of us. We have a very different reality that we are all creating and co-creating. So this is the power that we hold. Now, because of the shift and because we are moving to light and the light is increasing, as I said, exponentially now, equally, the dark is amplifying its game because it knows its days are numbered. It knows that it's, well, I actually feel much of the darker aspects have been completed. They're done. The players have been taken out. But we are watching movies. We are watching designed movies. We are watching misinformation movies and footage. And part of that is also, and as hard as this might sound, Source, because it knows the power that we are and the ability that we have, and the moment that we go into love, instantly how quickly everything else will fall away and pain and trauma will be just a blur on the past, on the horizon. It allows these things to take place. So it's actually allowing, I feel, and I believe, the Source and our higher selves, our I am presences, are allowing the greater games to take place. And yes, there are people dying. Yes, there are situations such as in the Ukraine now where, again, the innocent are leaving and it all appears dire. But on the greatest level, at the highest level of love, because these energies are based in fear, none of them exist in truth. They only exist in a fear-based, dualistic reality, perception. So this is why it's allowed, because this isn't even real. But part of the awakening has to be that people must awaken of their own timing and volition and choice. They must awaken somehow through some means. And so we are seeing here at the moment in Australia, we're having massive floods. Now, this event, coincidence? No. You know, there's no way in Haiti. Yes, I know the weather can be bad, but again, the weather has been manipulated for a long, long time as well. Now, even here in Australia, the paperwork, government paperwork, clearly states as early as 2004, it was written up that they have been cloud seeding our atmospheres here since then. And that's written on government head paper. So when did it really start? Now, the cloud seeding means they are manipulating natural resources of the weather. So they are dictating where they want events to take place. And I truthfully believe, take it, leave it, doesn't matter. I know in my heart that this is part of the greater picture, again, of false flags, as we say. Take our attention away from COVID, because there was much truth starting to drip out, and there is much statistics and data coming out now of COVID and the vaccines. So let's distract, because this is what the dark will do. This is what those forces will do. We don't want you to awake. We don't want you to see the truth. So let's distract you back to fear. Now keep remembering this. So everything you're witnessing and whatever's coming, anything that's promoting fear and that confusion and chaos and what's happening, it's very planned, very orchestrated. because it's to take your attention away all the time and diminish it from this point, look at this point, then this point will go to this point, this point will go to that point, and they will keep trying to prevent the momentum of light that has been gathering on the planet. Now, as I said earlier, what they fail to recognize is that they can't stop this. They simply can't stop this. So again, much of the game we're seeing, I believe now, which again, you can now pull your energies out of, pull your fears out of. We know it's not going to be cataclysmic. We know great things and, you know, dark things aren't going to happen. And even if they get it to a certain point that it looks dark, and even what's beyond what we perceive that they can possibly do, it will be intervened from on high, because it just is not in the greater plan. So this is where we can now take a breath, you know, in our trust and in our faith and in our knowing. And that's where you've got to be now. Pull out. Because wherever you are placing your energies, wherever you are placing your thoughts, even if you're not speaking words, but you're thinking it, that energy is being added to the greater picture. So if you are producing fear thoughts, you're adding to all the fear and potentially creating what exactly you don't want. So this is, again, your empowerment to choose and choose wisely where and how you place your thoughts and your intentions. That's your power base. It is your everything. Be very wise. So as I said, here in the floods, we've got these incredible areas that are going through much. Now, while, yes, there may be that geoengineered aspect of darkness, and the chemtrails up here have been ridiculous, taking place for some time. Well, I certainly know over Queensland and certainly through New South Wales, and in this upper area region, very similar to where the floods are happening. No coincidence again. But at the same time, there are many dimensions to everything. Nothing's one dimension. So on that greater level, these floods and fire and earthquakes, whatever natural process is taking place, the earth is clearing also. Now, she too is a being of energy. She too is our mother. So all our thoughts, all our miscreations, all our misdeeds, she has absorbed. So she's rising too, just like as the light rises, she must purge as well. And here in Australia, again, these are very, very big Aboriginal communities. So there's much trauma and angst and pain and bloodshed. And again, division and separation that took place. So these are clearings, absolutely. And so then we have the people involved in such areas. And I know it's hard to understand and, you know, I'm not in it, but, you know, I've been through my stuff. No one's exempt from what they go through. And we must remember again, the truth is that every soul is as God. When we are at our highest point, we are God. We can create anything we want. We can get through anything we want. We can move mountains if we want. We are the miracle that we're calling for if we want. But in the mortal, disconnected sense, we've forgotten that. So again, every soul, Ukraine, here, floods, earthquakes, wherever they may be, whatever's taking place, past, present, future, every soul has agreed to be there. Every soul that's passing over has agreed it's time to leave. Because again, no matter what, your exit date, it was agreed to as your entry date was prior your incarnation. So you can't change that. So this is where you can relax a little bit again. Just give it up. You know, the greatest fear ego has is death and losing control. So again, COVID, wow, that was a great, great, great test that they gave us. You know, fear of death. What happened? Everyone got crazy. Everyone bought the untruth. Everyone was in fear, lost power, following orders, not everybody, but a majority. And that was the game to get them to the vaccination point from the darker side. They wanted people to be in fear. They've got their players, they've got all their subordinates located in all the right spots of government. This is how it's been able to take place. Believe it or not, it's true. These people are very, very smart. Like, you know, I've said to many of my groups, I take my hat off to them in ways because they're incredibly organised. They're incredible deceptive beings. And nobody's picked it up for a long time. me included, we're all part of the deception until we awaken. Once we awaken, we see it everywhere. You can't not but see it. But again, those of us who are awakening again, be kind to those who aren't. You know, often you want to shake people. Been there, done that too. You just feel like, really? How can you not see this? But they can't, because it's a consciousness thing. Until that soul is ready and until their free will aligns to kick in and to decide to move out of their pride, to move out of their ego that they may be wrong, they will not see. So again, it has to be a heart engagement to some aspect to be able to see the truth, because the truth is the heart, as we've said. So again, these truths, these knowings, please resonate them within you, because these are the truth bombs that assist you to remove your frequencies and to, as I said, take that breath, chill out for a minute, and then recenter, and then intend and re-engage your energies on a higher path, on a higher intention, and on a higher love-based frequency to serve all. Every man, woman, and child. Now, I know I've had to send, because a lot of my journey through COVID was actually working through my old Atlantean issues. And I have had to send, and I think I've said this before, I had to learn and choose to send love to some of the darkest players, because I know I was up against them in Atlantis. So this was a huge rebalance. And many of us are reconciling energies from Atlantis. So it took a lot of, I didn't want to at first, I'll be honest, I didn't want to, but I had to remember the truth that love prevails. Truth prevails always. So again, as humans, we want it now. We want it sorted now. We want it fixed now. Well, that's a bit of ego, actually, okay? Ego wants it done now. The heart knows, patience, that everything will fall into divine place in divine time. And that we must, again, relax into as best we can. So whatever's gaining your attention at the moment, just do a self-check, a self-review, what's going on in you, and then just own it, acknowledge it. No judgments, please, no judgments. No going into the old, I should have known, no guilt, no nothing, no, that's old stuff. And most of all, if you find yourself in drama, if you're getting caught up in the drama of stuff, you're in ego, pull out, let go, cut ties, move on. If you're engaging back in old patterns with people, move away as best you can, cut ties, let go, center, recenter, ground, above, below. Love. Love is the way forward. Love is the answer. What was the question? Said that before. So we're in pivotal times, okay? Very pivotal times. But for me, these are your skills. And many of us have been tested. We've been really testing. I've been through big tests this year, big tests. And I know many of my girls and groups and guys have too. And as I've said to them, you know, it's not your falling backwards, because that's what our ego wants to tell us. You're not falling backwards. We're up and down the spiral. We have to collect debris we missed on the first round. We've got to keep refining the frequency to keep rising and rising. As I said, we can't take or be in two places at once. We have to be balanced. So we keep refining according to our plan, all lesser vibrations up. So we go down a little bit to play there, recognize, missed that first round, boom, violet flame, boom, up I go. Didn't cut that tie, wow, just another layer's coming through, just another layer's coming through. It's okay, it's how you view it, vital, all right? So in the coming days, please know with Ukraine, you are getting false flags, false messages, false images. Be very discerning. Your discernment is everything now. Really discern all that you see, because they're very clever. And I just posted to friends today, there's a US alternative platform who got caught up in posting images, and they came out openly to say, we got it wrong. We realized this was images from like 10 years ago, 6 years ago. They're misplaying you just again to play on people's emotions and to build up this anger, to build up this, vibrational separation again, and or fear. There's the big nuclear talk here. Whoa, this is it. No, it's not. It will not come to be. Okay, the earth is rising gracefully into 5D and all upon her who choose to be upon her. And as I said, many are leaving now. Now, I also want to put out, this is truth at this stage, that there will be many, and this is again the exiting of souls who are choosing that this is a very difficult place to rise consciously, and we're doing it consciously. Many souls will choose to go in the next couple of years. The next 12 months to 2 years, we'll see a mass exit. And it will be through the game of vaccinations. That was the darker picture. So many have partaken, and if you've taken it, I'm not here to promote fear in you at all. But energetically, you can work with yourself to assist those aspects, look after yourself energetically and physically, and supplement yourself accordingly. Work with nature, your greatest medicinal healer. You can work with healers who are able to work with you and assist you to raise vibrations and transmute them. Okay, and I know that that is and will part of my work as well will be any cancers and any other immune diseases that are now beginning to present. People are and will be leaving this earth. So again, it isn't from the COVID. Okay, it is not COVID, and there is nothing to fear. It was a flu that was recoverable. For, you know, again, in a greater sense, and I wrote about this ages ago, right at the beginning of COVID, you know, again, in truth, there is no illness. So what the COVID banner, again, truly was for Ascension Symptoms. Because many have had to go through Ascension Symptoms. They've had to go through a huge cellular shift and change, these breakdowns, breakthroughs. And again, if we didn't have that physical banner that there was an issue or a virus, there would have been more pandemonium if the world suddenly all started collapsing and got sick while they were actually undergoing cellular shifts and vibrational changes. So this gave that out. Spirit's very clever. You know, it is fully benevolent to let everyone just feel better and understand, oh, well, there's a causation to this. So there was less panic in a way. But at the end of the day, they were simply Ascension Symptoms. And I do know, even whoever's taken it, if your soul has chosen to stay here, to rise, that when the great light shifts and it comes, I feel there will be a huge wave, or there will be some energy from on high that will shift us through a portal in the greater awakening, when enough souls are on par for the shift to take place. And when that shift comes through, the frequencies will be so high, but whoever is left here is able to tolerate them. Now, there may be some fallout out of that, yes, as we know, light coming in, we feel it. But I do feel that, again, that light in anyone who's left here who may have been jabbed, chose to, and I feel those will be those that may have been coerced to a degree. Not ruling out anybody, though. I'm not labeling anything or putting boxes in here. I'm just saying I believe that the potential on high for whatever soul who's choosing to rise, no matter what, will rise. That's what I feel. So again, we let go of fear. So if you are anyone that may have had it and you're fearing it by seeing results, or you are coerced, trust in your higher self, surrender to your higher self, to your mighty I am presence. Put your call out and your intention out. Thy will be done. But if it is highest divine order that I am rising, then I allow and do all my frequential work, and I place myself into the highest frequencies of energy that I can to be able to tolerate the plasmic changes as they arrive. You have to meet spirit. You have to meet your higher self consciously, and more than halfway, okay? Because that shift, we need 51% always of your negative vibrations changed, transmuted, shifted into the higher frequency. You only need 51% of your belief to shift to create a new reality, always, in anything, okay? So hold tight to that. Just monitor your fear levels now. That's all I ask everybody. Monitor your fear. Recognize your doubt, your confusion, your chaos, what you're buying into. Feel it in you. You don't need to tell everybody about it. Just know within you and adjust accordingly. All the timelines are rising for the rebalance now, as I said. So be kind to you. Watch how you speak to yourself. This is the rebalancing. This year is all about the divine goddess and the divine masculine coming back together in harmony and as one again. So as she's rising, She's the truth, the nurturer, the goddess, the all-loving, all-wisdom. She will not tolerate any less than frequency. She is saying, right, in every one of us, rise. Rise with me now and transmute all that does not align to me. That's what's happening. And so we're seeing that in the world. Corruption, greed, less than love products, anything of the old. The systems are crumbling, they will crumble, it will be transmuted, and it will happen quickly when it's time, and we will have new systems in place. It's going to be a little messy. It has to be. As I said, energy when it's changing gets chaotic and messy. And when the truth does arrive, and it's not far away because this goddess, you will bring it to the fore. This is what many of us are preparing for, to be able to be the beacons of light, to hold our balance when those who are really, really asleep still and are really fighting the truth and will disbelieve what they're told. This will create the rumbles again. This will create those tremors throughout the vibration. So we have to be onto it. We have to be the steadfast beacons to be able to maintain us, hold us, but also be the way showers for those who will be seeking our truth, our knowing, our light, or who we can guide them to. So keep all that in mind. So I just wanted, that's all I really wanted to say today. There might be more to come, I don't know, but I just wanted everyone to have an idea of what's happening, if you haven't already, to be centered, to keep coming back to your true spiritual core and your true spiritual truths, and know them and really discern where you don't believe in them. Really discern that now, because we can say a lot, we can speak a lot, but when the proverbial shit hits the fan, that's when you'll be testing yourself of how well you believe in what you speak. It's time to walk our talk, not talk our walk anymore. So we have to be testing ourselves in our resilience, in our tenacity, in our strengths of service to us and source. And that's your divine masculine in action, in balance with the feminine. Okay, sorry about the halfway hiccup. I'll see if I can edit that. I'm not really good at that kind of stuff. So bear with me, but thanks for your time, and I will talk to you all hopefully very soon. Okay, take care. Bye. Violet flame, violet flame. Hold the light, the love, and everything for all. Okay, see ya.